Last night, the UN Security Council unanimously condemned North Korea's latest ballistic missile test. It called Sunday's launch a grave violation of international law. China signed onto that statement. The country is one of North Korea's only allies and its main lifeline. Adriana Diaz is in Beijing following China's reaction. Adriana, good morning.
Good morning. North Korea says Sunday's launch was for self-defense. It comes after months of quiet and at a particularly sensitive time for Beijing, just as relations with the Trump administration were starting to thaw. So this launch adds a new layer of uncertainty to the region that's still trying to get a read on the new and unpredictable U.S. president.
The missile tested Sunday was a new type, using solid fuel, not liquid, to eject from a mobile launcher. It's more stable and allows for less advanced warning. Analysts say the achievement is a dangerous step forward in North Korea's pursuit of a deliverable nuclear weapon. And it's a first test for President Trump.
I mean, obviously, North Korea is a big problem, and we will deal with that very strongly.
It also potentially pits the new U.S. administration against China, North Korea's only major ally, less than a week after President Trump smoothed things over in a phone call with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
China and the United States have fundamentally different approaches of dealing with North Korea.
Tong Zhao is with the Carnegie Tsinghua Center for Global Policy.
China believes we have to gradually encourage North Korea to liberalize its economy, to open up to the international community.
90% of North Korea's trade is with China, leading Western officials to accuse Beijing of propping up the neighboring dictatorship. But China says it's doing its part by signing on to stringent UN sanctions. China has fully implemented the relevant Security Council resolutions, said spokesman Gang Shuang. China fears any further action could destabilize the already shaky regime and turn North Korea into its enemy.
Now the Western countries want China to take the consequences of provoking North Korea.
China doesn't want to get caught in the middle.
Yeah.
The U.S. and South Korea will hold their annual large-scale military operations in March. And just this morning, North Korea said those operations could seriously undermine peace and security in the region. They could also close the door to any direct engagement between North Korea and the U.S. and push North Korea to test even larger and more powerful missiles. Anthony?
Adriana Diaz, thanks, Adriana. I want to bring Fran Townsend back in. Fran, so how does the Trump administration, what are the options for the Trump administration to respond to this?
Well, you know, U.S. has been frustrated over the course of now a decade with North Korea. The Bush administration tried, the Obama administration tried. There'll be meaningless statements of condemnation out of the UN, as we saw yesterday. I mean, that doesn't do much. That's more of the same. That hasn't been effective. This must be an engagement with China, who's got the greatest leverage. But therein lies the problem, right, Anthony? Because you've got to get your Chinese allies, and we've got a much larger agenda than just North Korea with China. We've got to get China to focus on using they're the oxygen that allows North Korea to continue to operate. And we have to get them to use that leverage to apply real pressure on the North Koreans to dial back. It's not an easy problem because the Trump administration doesn't have direct leverage itself.
All right, Fran Townsend, thank you so much.